And so people that give it the effort and that take chances, they deserve a certain amount of credit.
Without him, there wouldn't have been a gold rush. So we're all good.
From heavy downpour to stuck machinery in the mud, here is the horrifying discovery Tony Beets has made during a recent excavation on Gold Rush 5 minutes ago. The hunt for gold has never been easy, but over the years, Tony Beets has managed to reach and surpass his goals, making him the King of Klondike. However, the odds seem to be turning against him as he finds himself stuck between catching up and trying to reach his goal for the year. The implications of this could mean that Tony's successful reign is over, especially after the shocking discovery he has just made a few minutes ago. From the beginning of the excavation, mining for gold appeared daunting, yet Tony remained hopeful. He believes that his land will not fail him as he has received plenty of gold harvest in the past few years. One might assume he is being cocky, but when Tony Beets gets down to business, he knows how to go after exactly what he wants. His primary focus lay on the 80 Pup Cut, a site that had recently unveiled a significant find of more than 500 ounces of channel gold. Encouraged by promising vein formations and lucrative returns, Tony is determined in his commitment to sustaining the flow of gold from this location. Tony's crew works hard to ensure that they stay on target. Being a hands-on boss, Tony is also on the site, ensuring that things are running smoothly and efficiently. The mining started well, and everything seemed to be aligning for Tony. However, fate had other plans in store for this legendary miner. With only 900 ounces at his disposal, Tony faces the added challenge of unpredictable weather disrupting his plans. As the rain pours non-stop, the once promising field turns into a muddy bog, posing a significant obstacle. Despite his accustomed leadership and control, Tony cannot shake his concerns about the impact on their operations. Fully aware of the inherent risks, he now found himself dealing with a new reality. We're gonna need some equipment here really quick. Anytime the sky opens and water pours, it is a horrific nightmare for miners. The rain causes flooding and makes it virtually impossible to continue mining or find anything of considerable value. Tony Beets, being the veteran miner that he is, knows this is a challenge and a setback. Sadly, he has no control over the weather, and he can only hope that his mining plans for the year aren't completely ruined by the rain. Just 12 weeks earlier, Tony committed himself to an intense schedule, working 7 days a week for 24 hours straight. This decision underscored his unwavering determination to overcome any obstacles in his path. Tony knew that he was behind schedule, and he needed to work hard so he could reach his goal of getting 5,000 ounces of gold this season. He therefore had to adjust and adapt to the new reality that time wasn't on his side, and he needed to hit the ground running. One of his strategies is to increase the flow of water from the trommel to aid in settling with the surrounding materials, a bold move aimed at maximizing gold extraction. Tony, always driven by ambition, took full responsibility for past issues that had arisen earlier in the year. However, it became clear that the settling ponds were insufficiently reinforced and signs of trouble were already emerging in that area. Because we got a lake sitting there right now, so we need a good drain that carries us through to the rest of the season and beyond. But even if we're going to let this water go, it's not the last rainstorm we're going to have. Of course, this comes to fruition when the team urgently reports over the radio that several dikes have ruptured. Dikes play a crucial role in managing water and mining operations, particularly during rainy periods, by preventing flooding, protecting infrastructure, managing runoff, and maintaining stability. Properly designed and maintained dikes are essential for ensuring the safety of workers, minimizing environmental impacts, and sustaining efficient mining operations. Faced with this crisis, Tony is confronted with a tough decision. He has to temporarily halt operations to repair and reinforce the dikes. Although necessary, this move will lead to a significant time loss during the frenzied gold rush, where each minute counts. Nonetheless, the team persevered, working tirelessly to prevent water from encroaching where it shouldn't, recognizing the urgency of maintaining operations at the 80 Pup Cut. Despite water levels once again rising, Tony remains resolute in his battle against them. He refuses to let the whims of weather dictate the fate of his mining venture. Tony knows that in this business, A day can make the difference between reaching your target and going home with nothing. He therefore aims to make sure that by the end of each day, he has yielded good results. With a stern emphasis, Tony conveys the gravity of the situation regarding the integrity of the ponds. Urgently, he directs his staff to address the issue without delay. They assign Nick, a trusted member of Tony's team, to monitor a specific area near the pump with heightened attention. Despite their efforts, the water continued to flow without any signs of stopping, and the rain showed no signs of abating. Tony's deep concern for the stability of the dikes is evident, and the sense of urgency affects the entire team. Tony finds himself contemplating the challenges they have faced, and he fears the possibility of failure in this critical endeavor. Man has evolved and can overcome almost all challenges thrown his way, but when it comes to nature, it is obvious who has the stronger hand. Tony finds himself dealing with a fierce battle with nature, fully immersed in the gritty reality of battling against nature's forces. At this time, it is clear that this wasn't a mere game of refining gold nuggets under the sun. It was a relentless struggle against time, weather, and the whims of the elements. We have to get all of this water out of our cuts, otherwise our trucks are going to get stuck, and we're just going to have an all-around bad time. Weather is always your biggest factor. Every minute, every hour is valuable. There's nothing worse than getting flooded cuts. And of course, you know, right now in our most crucial time really is when it decides to downpour. Contemplating these formidable challenges, one can't help but wonder, will Tony Beets ultimately overcome these obstacles and achieve his ambitious goal of 5,000 ounces of gold? Despite the allure of the 80-pup cut, the relentless rain and swelling water bodies pose as formidable adversaries, minimizing his prospects. Tony fights tooth and nail to stay afloat amidst the din of machinery echoing across the landscape, his determination unwavering despite the odds stacked against him. Seeing such determination from Tony Beets has all of us rooting for him and hope that he finally reaches his mining goals. However, Tony's troubles are far from over. Their excavator gets stuck in a settling pond, leading Tony to realize the substantial financial losses piling daily if this vital piece of heavy machinery remains dysfunctional. Now this is a significant setback, one that leaves the team with no alternative but to halt operations. It becomes evident that the mining endeavor would need to be suspended until a solution could be found. This means losing dollars every second that the team is not mining. However, with the rain still pouring, there is nothing the Klondike King can do but agree that nature has scored one over him. Fortunately, Cousin Mike steps up and attempts to address the issue. Unfortunately, his efforts lead to an unexpected outcome. His own excavator ends up sinking into the water as well. Talk about a double tragedy. This new setback desperately needs a solution. Tony is not one to sit back and let his fate be determined by something else, and he is willing to do whatever it takes to get his mining game on. This is why he comes up with an idea that leads him to undertake an emergency rescue mission with 2 additional excavators. Unexpectedly, the men's efforts bear no fruit, and they find themselves in the same position as before. Recognizing the need for more robust equipment, Tony didn't hesitate to call in the heavy-duty machinery, the 18-ton D6 dozer, and the colossal 115-ton D11. With these formidable machines at his disposal, the next challenge is clear: how to release the stubbornly trapped excavator from the bog. Drawing upon his extensive mining expertise, Tony devises a detailed plan that unfolds with precision, using his years of experience to tackle the problem head-on. Over the years, Tony has faced several challenges during his mining period. His ability to rise above the challenges and tackle each one at a time is what makes him a great miner, and this case is no different. Tony is determined to regain control of his operation, even if he has to battle Mother Nature for it. To achieve their goal, the first step is to drain the water from the area. To accomplish this, the formidable D6 dozer is to push fine tailings into the pit, forming a ramp. The objective of this move is to reinforce and stabilize the ground beneath the immobilized excavator, laying the groundwork for its eventual extraction. Following this, the mammoth 115-ton D1, boasting 850 horsepower, is brought into action as a rescue mission star. It is expected to begin on a thorough patrol, exploring avenues to lend assistance in the endeavor. The team is working hard to help Tony Beets with this plan. Watching everything unfold gives everyone the hope that maybe Tony will be successful. Like the expert that he is, Tony does not disappoint. Tony ingeniously engineers a method to maneuver the D11 onto the fortified ramp, constructing a sturdy platform to support the weight of this formidable machine. The objective is straightforward: liberate the two excavators stuck in the mire. The gravity of the situation is apparent to everyone involved, with time constraints looming large. However, Tony Beets remains acutely aware that every decision carries its own set of consequences. If this was a first-time miner, he would have dug himself deeper into the misfortune. But Tony is a veteran, and he knows how to navigate this challenge effectively. Despite the inherent risks, he carefully deliberates on how best to navigate the challenges and ultimately resolve the pressing issue at hand. The battle between man, nature, and machinery begins, with everyone watching with bated breaths to see who will emerge victorious. As the engines roar to life and the machinery springs into action, the scene transforms into a frenzied battleground where man fights against the forces of nature. Pull a little bit, Mike. Very slowly, very slowly. A little bit, Mike. Good, Mike. More. There we go. Extracting the trapped excavator is far from a simple task. It presents a formidable challenge that demands the ability to adapt to unforeseen circumstances, as well as a wealth of skills and experience honed in the unforgiving realm of gold mining. The setback Tony Beets is facing echoes throughout the mines, underscoring the harsh realities and inherent complexities of the industry. Getting gold is very exciting and rewarding, seeing all the hard work that is put into mining. However, the challenges that one faces while trying to get to the gold can make it a very frustrating process, and most people would have given up by now, but not Tony Beets. Navigating the delicate balance between man and nature, Tony Beets takes charge and steers the operation forward. He instructs his team on how to proceed, advising them on which methods to use so they can ensure that they do everything that needs to be done. With each step of the plan, the once treacherous settling pond gradually transforms, shedding its quagmire-like qualities. Tony observes with satisfaction as progress unfolds the right direction. Feeling motivated and hopeful, Tony knows that there is a chance for his dream to come true. However, he is also wary as he doesn't know what the future holds and whether or not this is the last challenge he has had this season. The visual depiction of this swampy landscape also serves as a reminder of the challenges faced by the miners on Paradise Hill. In addition to the ongoing challenges, the relentless Klondike rain has already caused production delays on Paradise Hill throughout the week. As mentioned before, rain is one of the miners' worst nightmares, as it brings around several challenges that not only derail the mining activities, but could be dangerous for the workers. Gold excavation is a delicate act, so the rain might lead to collapse and make a place unsafe for the workers. Despite mounting pressure, Tony remains focused on achieving the 5,000-ounce target and maintains an optimistic outlook. However, the excavator incident earlier in the day resulted in a loss of approximately 2 hours of productivity. Mike's cousin, who accidentally drove the excavator into the mud, bore the brunt of the blame for the mishap. Softer to all, Tony is not one to sugarcoat anything, especially when someone is in the wrong and has cost him time. Tony, known for his straightforward attitude, bluntly points out that Mike's cousin found himself in a sticky situation due to his failure to heed instructions carefully. Tony had highlighted some of the things he wanted his team to do and the necessary instructions to make the mining a success, so his disappointment in his crew wasn't a surprise. Tony feels that at this point, he needs the team to be at its optimum so that they can achieve all the goals Tony has set for the season. With an excavator misplaced and operations halted, the question looms, will Tony Beets and his crew manage to bounce back from this setback? Tony himself acknowledges that some of the problems stemmed from overlooking crucial details. Every detail is important when it comes to dealing with hazardous challenges. Each team member must understand the importance of working together to ensure that everything runs smoothly. Injecting a moment of humor into the situation, the team jokes about Tony having to explain everything in English, Dutch, or Finnish, a testament to the multicultural dynamics of their team. It also shows that Tony has created a good environment where the team can easily enjoy little teasing moments. The trials of rescuing his crew from challenging situations inevitably hone his engineering acumen. Tony faces challenges, like any other miner, but what sets him apart is how dedicated he is to moving forward and not letting anything push him down. Yet looming over the team is the lingering question: can Tony overcome this horrifying discovery, or is it truly the end of the road for him? With gold discovered, the team prepares to measure its weight to determine if they have achieved their goal. Tony finds himself on a ride of emotions, one intimately tied to the numerical outcomes. The implications are profound, with the potential number of ounces discovered holding monumental significance. Tony fears that his goal might not be reached, but he is also positive that his hard work will amount to something. As 9 diggers meticulously call out the count while sweeping through the mining area, the numbers serve as an encouraging sign for some investors. However, Tony knows he requires over 300 ounces to achieve his goal. Remember, his mining plan had been greatly affected by the delay earlier from the stuck excavators. Each minute is very important in mining since it could be what sets apart one's reaching of their goal. Tension mounts as the count progresses: 240, 250, 260. The numbers climbed steadily, reaching ever higher peaks as Tony and his team sifted through rock after rock. Each number holds immense weight, representing the success or failure of their entire mining endeavor. You can see from their faces that each time the numbers are read, the team is anxious and excited. The ounces continue to accumulate: 350, 360, and by the end of the day, their production surpasses $500,000, worth $850,000 in total. Their tally reaches an impressive 4601 ounces, a testament to 6 days of relentless effort. The success owed much to the fruitful yields from the 80 pup, a fact Tony recognizes. The 80 pup had been performing admirably for some time, prompting Tony to cast a hopeful glance toward the future, anticipating even greater returns in the days ahead. Despite the time-consuming yet essential task of slinging for a day, as long as the gold kept flowing, that was all that mattered. It posed no issue for the gunslingers, whose success was indisputable. Tony could only affirm, based on their experience, that if it paid well, then it was acceptable. Tony wanted to get 5,000 ounces, but he is quite happy with the numbers he has got so far. Seeing that the week was full of challenges, he remains determined that better days are coming, and that his yield will be greater. The team celebrates their win, and it is very palpable in the narrative, fostering a sense of solidarity with the miners as they battle against nature in pursuit of gold. While the quest for gold is an ongoing endeavor full of challenges, for now, their efforts have been rewarded. Tony Beets' determination sets him apart from other Klondike miners. However, the challenges he faces might cause his mining goals to be delayed or not come to fruition this year. The horrifying discovery that his goals might not come true pulls in the question of whether Tony will continue holding his mining kingship.